You a Star Wars fan? Because you'll be amazed at number one, that a lot of women might be into the shit that you're into, but you're so worried about her judging you that you don't give it half a chance. But also some of the things that you're not into, you'll be amazed at how women would want to get into it because they want to get closer to you.
A lot of times they say shit like, "Oh, I'm free on weekends," or I'm usually free on Thursdays," or whatever the hell. So if it makes sense, then I schedule a date.
If she really liked you from the get-go, there would be no reward system you would have to look for to do anything for, right? Because it would automatically be there, And I like to do this in conversation sometimes. When you're speaking with somebody and you'll hear a girl say something like, "I'll never do this," or "I don't like this," or "I don't like that." And then you'll notice, you'll say, "Nah, I kind of like it. I like it when blah, blah, blah." And she's like, well, yeah, when you say it like that, I like it, And it's just kind of like, yeah, you switched up awfully fast for somebody that just really said they don't like something. And so, there's always been clues out there for fellas to understand, like, yo, if they really like you, they will change their whole political party.
They're not giving her real instruction. They're not letting her know what it really is. And most dudes don't do it. Most dudes don't say what it is because they're afraid to hear no, or they're afraid to bring up sex too early and all of this and all of that. But the bottom line is this. Either, again, and somebody said it, either she's feeling you or she's not. You understand? Either she's feeling you or she's not. We got to stop all this nonsense, man. Guys are too afraid to hear no, and it's like I'd rather hear no than to waste 2, 3, 4 dates and time spent, money spent, and all this other shit just to find out that you wasn't feeling me any damn way. You see what I'm saying? But so with me, first date is cool. If you don't want to do it on the first date, no problem. You could be on your period or whatever it is. There's a lot of things that could be off on the first date, right? It doesn't matter. But second date, you gotta know what it is.
For me, I like exclusive vagina to me. And that's because I don't want to catch nothing to have my later years messed up. And I like to stroke without no condom on. It feels great.
No.
So I like to.
So you like to be hugged by the sugar walls. You like to be hugged.
Yeah. I like that velvet, plush velvet. The smoothness. So,
but even then, Jay Roman, I hear you.
He don't get up for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So, and the reason is because he has to conserve his energy to do 3 full workouts a day up until his competition date. You understand? So when he's in season, he literally just works out as hard as he can. Then he sits on the couch and his wife brings him everything. The only thing she don't do is fucking piss for him, right? So what I'm saying is, it's one thing to have a wife that does it, because you said earlier, these were the words you used. You said a woman who says, "Oh, I rock with this dude, so I don't mind doing this." But see, it's a difference between a woman who doesn't mind and a woman who cheerfully wants to do it. Understand the position of a simp. Make sure you understand the position of a friend zone nigga. Make sure you understand that a man doesn't do anything for nothing. You understand? So run the game, be careful, and do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. And that's the right there, Jay Roman. And that's the problem. Your main chick should always be prioritized over all the new chicks. Right? The new chicks should not get preferential treatment. Right? So what would make it difficult for a lot of women is if you're giving girlfriend treatment to the new chick. Right? So this is why when you very first meet women, you have to establish boundaries and parameters where they got to earn everything. So that way, when the main chick is with you and she knows you're dealing with new women, she knows they have to go through the gauntlet too. They just don't get shit quicker. Like
on the mic, Kerry K set in the blaze, sagging. Miles Cunham with the game so tight. J. Roman lit the torch, keeping it right. Manhood's the challenge, skill set to master. In a world moving fast, gotta move faster. Trap beat, pounding 808, shake the floor. Guided by the host, wisdom like law. Kerry K drops jewels, the crowd enthralled. Words cut deep, no need for brawls. Miles Cunningham, tactic sharp like a dagger. Navigates the game, makes the haters stagger. Journey to manhood, no easy feat. Lessons from the masters, words concrete. J. Roman with the keys, opens the door. Manhood's the path, gotta crave for more. Manhood's the challenge, skill set to master. In a world moving fast, gotta move faster. Trap beat, pounding 808, shake the floor. Guided by the host, wisdom like law.
Yo, what's good? I guess, J. Roman is in the middle of doing something. Maybe he don't know that we're live. Wait. So, salute to all my people, man, in the building. Let me plug the joint right quick. Never let a woman's words control your emotions. Gentlemen, never allow a woman's words to control your emotions. It's clipping. Hold on, there's a friend of a plan. Give me a second. Is it still clipping? What's good? Can y'all? Is there still a distortion?
Yeah, there's still a distortion going on.
Okay, what the fuck is going on my mic?
It sounds like something is loud. Like maybe if you had two settings and one of them is really loud.
Okay, hold on.
Maybe the volume's turned up on something.
Can you still hear it?
Yeah.
Hold on.
You?
Is it bad or is it noticeable?
Turn down your mic.
My mic settings are exactly where they've always been. Let me double check though. I haven't changed anything. I got the faders down. It could be I know StreamYard, I know Miles and L was having trouble. So I don't know if it's too loud.
Yeah, it sounds too loud.
Okay. What about now?
Say something again.
What about now?
That's better.
That's better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me make sure.
Yep, that's a lot better.
Okay. Cool. All right. The quality of the show is in jeopardy. You got to make sure that the sound is good. Again, never let a woman's words control your emotions. So real quick before we get off into this, gentleman, Miles is traveling, right? So he may or may not pop in on the phone, but as far as him sitting on a panel today, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to do that. So we're not taking phone calls today, right? The Scary Perry just posted it too. We're not taking any phone calls today. However, what we are doing is we're still answering questions in the live chat. So if you have any questions related to the topic at hand, or if you have any questions at all, it doesn't matter what it's about, right? Go ahead and put your questions in the chat, followed by a Q followed by a Q followed by your question. And let me just say this, guys, because we're not taking phone calls today, you guys' participation will be paramount as far as the longevity of the show, right? Now, I can sit up here and talk all day. I don't know if J. Roman can, but I got diarrhea in the mouth. I can talk all day about this ism. However, though, your participation is needed.
No,
I'm speaking. There's a distortion, video distortion or audio distortion.
the audio distortion is coming in and out. Like
Fuck. Okay, hold on.
Maybe when you get louder there.
Hold on.
So when you talking normal, it just seems like it's good.
Okay, but is there a visual distortion though?
No, nothing visual.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I know L and Miles.
Distorted again.
Fuck. Does it sound like a robot or something?
You ever have a Bluetooth hook up to your stereo?
Okay. All right. Well. All right, fellas. We're gonna try to get through this. If it becomes unbearable, though, let me know, and then we got to do something different.
Did you change anything after I said everything was good?
I just turned down the volume. That's all I did because the settings are exactly what they've always been. Yeah, I do. I have a Rodecaster. This damn $1,000 mixer and shit.
I would turn down the volume right now. Like I would turn it down.
Okay. Is it still loud?
Okay, right there. If you keep it there, I can hear you, and it's not distorted.
Okay. All right. Well, if it changes, let me know. All right. So again, let me get back into the joint. Never let a woman's words control your emotions. And what I want you guys to realize, Jay Roman, I don't know if you remember this or not, right? When I was coming up as a young lad, right, as an adolescent, right, as a young teenager, preteen, all of that, one thing that I always knew to be true about women, is that older women, like, your grandmother, your aunts, your great aunts, one thing that I noticed that they did is they would teach the younger women how to stroke a man's ego to get what they want, right? If for those of you who are old enough, right, if you recall, there have been women who say, hey, make that man believe he's running shit. Make that man believe he's in control. And what they will do is they will stroke your ego verbally. Okay, listen to what I'm telling you. They will stroke your ego verbally. And the reason for that is because they know if they stroke your ego, whether it be how you look, how you dress, your success, sex, any of that, they know if I stroke his ego, that's going to make him feel good about himself, and it's going to make him continue to do what he's doing to get that adulation and that validation from me. So real quick, if y'all recall as well, a lot of these callers that we get on some of these live streams, they call in and they get caught up in women complimenting them. And they want to hear women say that they're cute, handsome, fine, sexy, good looking. They want to hear that shit, right? And if and when they do hear compliments from women and the women aren't having sex with them, they're confused. They're like, wait a minute, she said I'm handsome. She said I'm good looking. She even called me sexy. But when I told her to come to the crib, she talking about a date. And the reason why you guys are getting caught up is never let a woman's words control your emotions. Okay, Jay Roman, real quick, and I'll pass it to you. I had a client, right? And he was dealing with this woman. And this woman was calling him out based on his behavior, right? It wasn't because he was admitting to her that he was insecure. She was figuring him out. So she was telling them things like, you've never been told by a woman that she cares about you, have you? You never been told by a woman that she loves you, have you? Like she's saying that to him, and he's like, how did you know? Right? So she started giving him compliments. And based on how he was responding, she was like, oh, you never been told that you're handsome, that you're cute. So when I tell you, I can tell that you're eating this shit up, and I can tell your behavior, right, is reflective of what I'm saying to you. Now, here's the thing. Most women won't call you out. Most women won't point it out to you. They'll notice it, but they won't point it out. But go ahead, Jay.
I'm wondering how the dude responded in that situation, that scenario of yours. Like, how was he responding?
He was going back and forth with the chick, and he was like, how can you tell? How did you know? And she's literally breaking him down based on his behavior. And he said, Zach, I wasn't sharing any of those things about any insecurities that I have. She was just figuring me out based on how I was behaving. And I'm like, women do. Most women won't do what she did. They'll notice it and they'll treat you accordingly. And this is why a lot of guys get confused, because the women are complimenting you. They're having sex with you even, but they're inconsistent about how they behave. And in many cases, they're very disrespectful towards you. But you're trying to figure it out. Like, how can she treat me like this, still be fucking me, and tell me I'm handsome? Because she doesn't respect you. And she knows that you can be controlled with words and feelings. Go ahead, Jay.
All I know is when somebody get to complimenting me too much, I'm like, you ever seen that movie with Major Payne?
It's a red flag.
When he was like, "What's your angle, boy?" When he was giving the kid was giving him a hug, he's like, "Hey, what's your angle, boy?" I always feel like that. Like, all right, that's okay. What you want? What you need? What you trying to What you trying to fatten me up for? You know, what's the deal here? But instantly when I first read the title, because I never read the titles or do anything like that. We don't discuss about the subject of the show. I get it au naturel like everybody else. To me, the first thing I thought of was the mirror, right? Where if you let her control your emotions, then it looks like two idiots arguing with each other, and not one person there taking the lead to guide the relationships to where it needs to go. I can't see myself arguing with anybody that I am not in a relationship with. Like, so that's, I don't care. You can kick rocks. But if we're in a relationship, yes, there's times that I have argued and gotten outside of my zone. But I always come back with like, yo, number one, we can't talk to each other like this. We can't talk to each other in a disrespectful way. We can't, because it's for the betterment of this relationship that we got. We can't do this, because this will end the relationship quicker than anything else. A disrespectful person that's saying some stuff to you and it know exactly what to say. That's another reason I say, when it comes to pillow talk, fellas, I know she's sitting there and she wants you to open up. She wants you to express a lot of things, and you hear, just tell me how your day was. And you're like, oh, it was cool. No, tell me, what happened? What did this? And all this, you never talk to me. Like, no, I've been talking to you. I tell you, what things I like, what I don't like. What do you mean I don't talk to you? Well, tell me, what's going on at work? What's making you upset? What's good? All that stuff is coming back up in the argument. All that stuff.
It will definitely use it as ammunition later on.
Coming up. Oh, you want to puff your chest with me? You didn't puff your chest at work when you did get that promotion. Like, all that stuff is coming back up.
You wasn't talking all that shit to your brother when he punked you at the barbecue, nigga. Why you in my face?
Right. So,
even though that ain't never happened to me, I'm just using that as an example. I don't want no rumors and shit.
And I'm not saying you can't speak with your woman or confide with your woman about something, but at the same time, you got to understand, like, hey, it's gonna come back, and it always looks 10 times better. I don't care if you're in public, at the house, because later on, if you were the calmest one out of the whole discussion and was like, hey, we got to pick this up later on, because our egos, I'm gonna just say for myself and how I got trapped with talking with the emotions, right? I'm gonna keep it funky, keep it 100 with y'all, because my ego says I got a one up, right? So when they say something, you be like, oh, no. No. Let me one up. You want to talk loud? Let me talk louder. You want to say something rude? Let me say something ruder. I'm the man in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what, we getting Brody right now? I'm going to show you what Brody is, right? And it's just the ego talking, because at that moment, you're not being a leader. You don't have the betterment of the relationship in mind. You don't have the guidance to teach and show people how to talk to each other. Show your woman how to talk to each other in the relationship. See, a lot of times we look at grown people and think they have the same teaching and knowledge that we have, but they don't. You think their relationships are steady, saying good progressive relationships where they know how to speak with each other. Some ladies have been in relationships where all the dude did was yell and argue.
Yep.
And so now she's in this relationship with you, yelling, arguing. She thinks it's normal. She don't think that in your head.
She think it's normal. Facts. My bad.
Yeah, she don't think in your head it's getting to you, and you about to go off, leave. Like, hey, this ain't it. So always in all situations have that leadership in mind. And I think if you lead a conversation with that, a woman's words won't control your emotions. So.
Bro, that's some real shit. And, let me say this real quick. I was having a conversation with one of my daughters, right? She just graduated high school, just turned 18 at the end of last month. Shout out to her, right? So we was talking. And sometimes her and I, we be having like 2-hour long conversations, right? So she was telling me about one of these guys she was talking to, right? And she's had, boyfriend, little serious relationships and all of that. But she was telling me about this young man she was talking to. And within her conversation, she mentioned a couple of things. She mentioned how she liked him, how she thought he was cute. But also, during the same conversation, she was talking about how he was sensitive, overly emotional, and all that other shit. So I'm listening to her talk. And then, I'm recounting other conversations we've had about other young men she's dealt with. So I tell my daughter, I said, I'm chopping up game with my daughter, right? I said, baby girl, I said, your problem is you're too focused on intangible things with these young men, right? And I said, let me help you out. I said, in a conversation, you're talking about how the man looks, and you're talking about how you feel about the guy. I like him, right? Those are intangible things. Those are things that you can't touch, you can't see, but you can feel, right? Right? You can't really quantify or measure those things. And I'm like, what you're missing, which is why whenever you deal with any of these young men, you have this anxiety. I said, what you're missing is tangible value. And I said, you don't respect none of these guys you've been involved with. And she paused and she said, Dad, you're right. I don't respect none of them because none of them behave like men. They all act like boys. I just like the way they look and I like their personality. But beyond that, you're right. I don't respect none of them. And I tell guys all the time, women respecting you is paramount to a healthy interaction. It's paramount. It's extremely important. But let's get back to this. Never let a woman's words control your emotions. I want to hit y'all with something right quick. This word right here, right? And I've talked about this word before. Indifference. Indifference means a lack of strong interest, concern, preference, or emotional reaction towards something. Now, if a simple-minded person saw this definition of indifference, they might think someone is cold, callous, right? Right? They might think that, right? But when you put it in its proper context, indifference does not mean hatred, disrespect, or pretending not to care. It means maintaining emotional neutrality until someone's actions provide a reason to become emotionally invested. And what I mean by that is simply this. There is nothing in the world women can say to me to make me feel good. A woman telling me she loves me, it don't really mean anything, okay? And I'm not saying that it's a bad, look real quick, because people are going to misunderstand what I'm saying. I've been in some loving relationships, right? And it's a beautiful thing when a woman genuinely loves you and she shows that she loves you. But a woman telling me, verbally telling me that she loves me, it has no impact on me. It doesn't move me up, down, left, or it moves me not at all. And even J. Roman, even I'm so cold with it. If you think about all the different compliments a woman can give you sexually, just think about it, anything a woman can say to stroke your ego and make you feel good sexually. Yeah, I'm the man in this motherfucker, right? I've heard it all, right? It goes in one ear and out the other. There was nothing, because anything that I'm doing in the bedroom, I'm looking at the chick like, I know that already. I know I'm fucking the shit out of you. I see you curled up in the fetal position shaking. Bitch, I see my handiwork. I see what I'm doing to you. So a woman telling me and complimenting me about sex, it does nothing for me. And here's why. And I'll pass it right back to you, Jay. Here's the big reason why. If you get caught up with what women are telling you sexually specifically, you're going to believe that you're probably the best lover she's ever had, and or you're going to believe that she is so happy and content with what you're doing that she's unlikely to ever leave or cheat. And that's dangerous. It's dangerous to allow a woman's words to evoke so much emotion within you that you take her words and you treat them as the gospel truth for how she feels every single day of the week, when that's how she feels in that moment. When you fucking the shit out of her, she feels that way in that moment. 3 months, she might not feel that way. Go ahead, Jay.
I think that's the catch-22 though, right? Because if you believe the good, then deep down, you're also going to believe the bad.
There you go.
Right? So you have to regulate your own emotions. Now, I understand in this day and age, they act like dudes don't have emotions, right? Like, don't be this unemotional guy. Like, dudes have always had emotions. We're human beings, but at the same time, we express and we control them and we do things differently because we have to. And I think that's the thing that people miss. It's not that there is no emotions. It's just that we have to control our emotions. Because like you said, if you are a leader of a household, your household should not see you flip out. That's an uncontrollable thing. That's something that I know that let's just take your kids. A lot of kids, their dad is their freaking hero, their protector, their everything, right? Now let's see your kids see you flip out, spaz out, have a tantrum. I know you might look at it one way, but your kid might also look at it like, damn, how come dad flipped out like that? That was like, man, mom can push his nerves. He's an emotional person. He's going to grow up thinking like, my dad is kind of emotional. Like he flips out over this or flips out over that instead of saying things calmly in the manner and doing things purposefully. Like, for example, I'm not a big cusser. I don't call women out, bitch or nothing like that. That ain't my normal thing. I'm not on here normally saying those words. It's not nothing I say. Now, have I said them? Oh, yeah, I said them. But I said it at the appropriate times to express myself in the appropriate manner, right? So it's not that I cuss every day. It's not that I cuss on every sentence. But if I am cursing, it is to let you know exactly what's going on. And it's usually with a directive because you haven't been doing something and I got to say it in a way that expresses to you, right? Like, hey, this is what's up. And it's very methodical. Like, I don't curse just to be cursing. So if I do, normally people be like, whoa, you cool, Jay? Like, they understand like this is not something he normally does. That should be the same thing when it comes to your emotions and everything, that you regulate them to the point where you use it to get to or to express where people will understand like, all right, I know this is what I have to do. Right. So you ever had a conversation and you look at her and you go, hey, that's enough. We ain't gonna talk to each other like this. we gonna pause this right here,
Mhm.
and we ain't gonna talk like this to each other. To say that calmly and for the person to get it, they know you and they know like, okay, all right, that's it. Okay, cool. We ain't gonna say this. But a person that always has this flex in emotions, if you try to say that, she's gonna keep going because she knows, this ain't real. I know you can argue a little bit more. I know I got you. I know I can say whatever I want to say.
I want to respond to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. Real quick. I'm glad you said that. And I want people to understand what Jay Roman is saying. And for me, it's very profound, right? And the reason why that is I've told dudes before, this is why I don't like makeup sex, right? I've never liked makeup sex. And the reason, I'm gonna tell you a reason why I don't like makeup sex. Because a lot of times when people have makeup sex, whatever the problem wasn't fixed. You're just glossing over it with an orgasm, right? So what happens is you become a toothless German shepherd to your woman, right? It's kind of like if you're always yelling at your woman and you're cursing her out and all of that, she becomes tone deaf to what you're saying. So what happens is it's kind of like a child, right? For those of you who grew up with your parents yelling at you or somebody yelling at you, but they never did shit, they just yelled all the time, you begin to learn patterns when all bark and no bite. So what happens as a child, okay, and I learned this as a child, this is how you learn to manipulate people, right? And this is, or manipulate situations rather, right? Or both as a man or a woman. So as a child, if you realize, oh, this person, they threaten me all the time. They threaten that they're gonna spank me and do this to me and do that. But when they get mad, they just yell for like 20 minutes. And nothing really ever happens other than that. So then what you learn is you learn to be able to do shit that you want to do that test their boundaries, right? All the time. Because you know all they're going to do is yell for about 20 minutes, but nothing is going to happen, right? So same thing with women. So when even with the makeup sex shit, women know all I got to do is suck this nigga dick and he'll shut the fuck up. Whatever he was talking about that he acted like meant something to him, all I got to do is act like I'm mad at him, is basically give the appearance that he ain't gonna get no pussy because I'm mad. And what he gonna do is, I don't want my shorty being mad at me, so I'm just gonna tap her and ask her, you still mad at me, girl? And I'm gonna slide over there and try to get me some pussy. And what he gonna do? Shut the fuck up. And then maybe a month later, he might bring that shit up again. And then what's she gonna do? And that's exactly what happens in these relationships. And then what happens is guys get to the point where they get frustrated because they're not being taken seriously. Women can't take you seriously because you can be subdued with compliments and sex. Go ahead, Jay.
One, I don't believe in makeup sex because I don't care if we mad at each other. Some things just need to continue. Period. So I don't.
Bro, oh yeah. You, bro. Let me say this, Jay Roman. This is some real shit. This is why when you very first meet women, you have to take the power of sex away from them. Dude, I don't think guys understand that. When you very first, and I'm not saying this is true of all women, but all women are capable of using sex as a weapon. They're capable of using it as a tool. They're capable of using sex to try and get what they want and or using sex to punish you because they're mad at you. All women are capable of doing that. So because of that, when you very first meet women, this is why I don't fuck with women who try to make me wait for sex. Fuck no, right? Because if I allow her to make me wait for sex and I go for that bullshit, she already knows I can be controlled with the promise of sex or the prospect of it. And that might be that she can influence my behaviors with her pussy. And that's dangerous for a man to be caught like that. Right. So you got to take the power of sex away to the point, Jay Roman. And I say this, and I don't say this with pride. I say it to illustrate my point with extreme prejudice of how powerful it is to take the power of sex away from women. You know, in my younger years, Jay Roman, right? When I was a cheater, right? I'm reformed. I don't cheat anymore. And primarily the reason why I don't cheat anymore is because I don't believe in monogamous relationships, right? I don't do monogamy, right? So, and that's just me living my truth, understanding that I can't have sex with just one woman forever. Like that ain't gonna happen, right? So, but my point is, when I was, younger, and I was cheating, this is what I always noticed with a couple of the chicks. Even though I was cheating, it never interfered with the sex. They still wanted to have sex. Bro, there was one time where, I was creeping, woman found out, and within an hour of her finding out, we was fucking. And while I'm fucking her, Jay, she's like, was you fucking her like this? Oh, shit. And she was talking shit, and I'm like, shut up and take this dick. No, I'm just telling you, when you take the power of sex away, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about women playing with it with you. No, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not condoning or advocating cheating, guys. I'm not condoning that. I'm just saying, for me, I don't play with that shit. You can't use sex, because here's the thing with me, and every woman I've ever dealt with, they know this about me. If a woman was to tell me some shit like, oh, I don't think I want to have sex for a little while because you don't take me out enough, the very next thing a woman's going to see me do is I'm going to get up, I'm going to start running a shower, I'm going to shave, I'm going to put some clothes out, and she's going to be like, where you going? I'm like, out to get some pussy. You said we ain't fucking. I'm about to freshen up, put on some clothes, and I'm about to go out and get some pussy, because you forget that you are in a relationship with a man that can get pussy like that. Don't play with me, bitch. So, and that's it. A lot of guys, they won't do that. They'll cheat. I'll tell a chick to her face, I'm about to go fuck another chick right now. Don't play with me, right? So when I talk about taking the power of sex away, I mean that. Like, chick, you cannot play with me in sex. You can't play with it. And it's not about me controlling sex. It's about making sure that I don't let her control it, period. But we do got some questions there.
Man, I had two things I wanted to say, but with your story, man, I had a situation where I was kind of foul for it, but I had a friend. We were kicking it, and she took me to a party, and I met this other lady, and we had a session on the dryer. Those rooms where they had like the in between the garage, the laundry room. There's another door. So it went to the bathroom, but then there was another door. So anyway, we had a party. We did our thing, and her friend told her, like, your friend in there, doing this thing. So afterwards, she had a problem with it. She was, now the whole time during the party, she was flirting and doing her thing. I didn't have a problem with that, because I figured, hey, we'll go home, we'll kick it, and that's that, right? So it just so happened I found somebody that understood my story, and we was kicking it a lot sooner. So I go home, I get a ride from somebody else, and I get home because she's upset. She calls me up and was like, I can't believe you did that. I took you to a party and you did that. And I'm like, well, okay. I thought we was in there chilling. I seen you sitting on old dude's lap. You know what I'm saying? Like we was in the party chilling. Like I didn't, well, you can't touch me. She said this, you can't touch me for a long while. And I was like, I kind of chuckled because the way she said it was kind of funny. And I was like, all right, well, I see you upset, so I'm going to let you go. I get a knock on the door instantly. I didn't know she was outside my house having this phone conversation with me. Come inside. We do our thing. In the middle of us doing our thing, she's like, well, what if I called you this person's name and that person's name in the middle of us doing our thing? And I said, I don't care. Right? Like, I don't care what's going on right now. Like, what is we chilling? We not boyfriend and girlfriend. Ain't nothing like that going on. And she's like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't think nobody was going to come, but you had your little friend spying, watching my every move. So, she came into the laundry room. It took 2 doors and a left to come in there. She was only searching for me. That's your fault. Like, you wouldn't even known about it, so after that, though, she became a stalker a little bit. But
hold on. Let me address this. No. Real quick. I'm not telling y'all not to be monogamous. No. I want to be clear, guys. I do consultations and I mentor young men who want to be married. They want to be in a sexually exclusive relationship and have a family. I promote that. Guys, I promote anything y'all want to do. If you want to be married, you want to be in a monogamous relationship and have a family, I promote that. If you want to be single and just run through bitches all day, I promote that. If you want to be in a poly relationship, I promote that. Whatever y'all guys want to do, I promote it. I will never funnel men into one type of relationship or another. I just tell you what I do. I'm not telling you not to get into serious relationships with women. I'm just telling you, make sure that you're careful when it comes to selecting the right women to fuck with. But any type of relationship y'all want, have at it. Just make sure you have enough game to get that kind of relationship that you desire and to get that kind of treatment from the women that you want. That's all I'm saying.
Go ahead and put it up again, because that last sentence threw me. Or do I just have kids with a bunch of women and not be faithful? Yeah, man. I don't think you need to have kids at all right now. I would tell you this. Like Zag is saying, whatever style of relationship you want to have, make sure you want to have it though. Like,
exactly.
Don't start off with this. I don't want not one woman, and then next thing you know, you have kids, and then she go off and dip, and the stepdad is raising your kid because that's not what you set up, and you're upset about that situation. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't seen a lot of relationships now. I've seen some women love some men, like really love them, but I ain't seen a lot of them where they just gonna let you do what you doing. You have kids with them, and they not trying to build a household somewhere. So I'm just letting you know that right now. Yeah. Your whole aim, you might try to figure out exactly what you want, and if you're gonna bring some kids in this world, make sure you have everything set. And I think more important is choosing the right person to have kids with. In a relationship, out of relationship, married, non-married, those are two different things. Being married to a woman and having kids with a woman are two different things. Make sure you pick the right woman to have kids with.
J. Roman, this I'm glad you said that. My ex-wife, right? Before we had children, we have two boys, right? And some of y'all see my youngest, he pops on the screen every now and again. Before we had our two boys, right? Before we cohabitated, before we got married, we sat down and we discussed shit. We pulled each other's credit reports, right? Because I got to see what kind of debt you have. I got to see that, right? But fortunate thing for me at the time, I married a woman who was very financially responsible, 800 plus credit score. She didn't have a whole lot of debt. You know what I'm saying? Outside of student loan debt that most women tend to carry nowadays. But my point is this. And I told her, I said, this is what we're gonna do, right? Because I had already cohabitated with women that I wasn't married to before. So I told her, I said, I'm not gonna do that. I said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get married first, then we'll live together after that, right? So, and then we're gonna be married for at least a year before we even think about having kids, right? And here's the reason why, right? And this is something that both men and women fuck themselves up doing. Just because somebody has what you believe to be tangible qualities, to be a good boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife, that doesn't mean they'll be a good parent. For whatever reason, people's ignorance, right? They don't understand that, like you said, it's separate. It's separate. Like a woman can literally say to people, my ex-husband was a horrible husband, but he's a great father. Yep. Right?
Yep.
Just like you said, say that again.
I said, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So the fact that both things are mutually inclusive, now women would love for them to be mutually inclusive, where you are a great husband and a great father, but they're not mutually inclusive, right? So just because someone seems like a good fit in your life to date or to be in a relationship with, you still have to vet them separately for the other shit. This is why when women be like, I didn't know he would be that kind of father, because you never vetted him to see what kind of leader he would be in a household environment. You just like the way the nigga look. You like the way he fuck you. You know what I'm saying? He's financially stable. You know, he treats you seemingly well. And you think because of that, it automatically translates to him being a great doting father. No, the fuck it don't. No, the fuck it don't. Right? So for all you guys who are endeavoring to be a husband, a father, or just a father, but in my opinion, if you're going to father kids, you should get married. That's just my opinion. If you're going to father children, I believe you should get married, and not because of God or religion or anything like that, but because there are benefits to being married with children versus having children out of wedlock. There's also legalities. There's legal reasons why being married is more beneficial than not being married when kids are involved. And people got to do their own research, but there are legal reasons why you should at least consider it. I'm not saying you should do it. Do your research and be practical and pragmatic about your choices instead of emotional, which, back to the title, never allow or let a woman's words control your emotions. That's feminine to do that. See, when it comes to women get caught up with words. Go ahead, Jay.
Even past the legality of things when it comes to your kids. I'll tell you, a moment is when, even if making sure they have your last name.
Mm-hmm.
I have my kids and they said, we're all this, huh, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the last name. You know, I'm something Smith, you something Smith, and Johnson Smith, and Dudley Smith, and like it brought a certain amount of pride. Like this we are all proud. This right here. We all have this last name, and I think if you can provide that for your kids, because now we're talking about mental stuff. There's legal stuff, there's mental stuff, there's emotional stuff that you have to raise your children. And it's your job to raise your children in a certain way in your beliefs and principles, you know, but also take care of their mentals. And I think sometimes we forget the mentals because a lot of people are selfish within themselves because they want to be happy and I feel good and I can't take this no more. But you just brought some kids into this world. And I'm not saying you have to be married. But when it comes to raising kids, I'm with you, Zach. Try to do it in that one household. I'm not saying your kids ain't gonna be nothing if it's separate, but I have seen and noticed a lot of different things when it comes to kids with separate and together. Ain't no guarantee, but I've seen some things where it's like, man, if I had it all under one roof, there's a lot of different things that comes with the guidance.
Right there, Jay Roman.
Just a situation.
My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just because I'm about to cut out here. I got some things to do with the family. I'm sorry about that, but I'm about to cut out here in a minute. But just a situation of guiding your child and doing stuff a certain way. Discipline, behavior, structure when it comes to school, bedtimes, how much your bedtime plays and how well they do in school the next day. You know, they at mom's house.
The school district, they go. To me, real quick, let me say this. That's a big deal to me. I know what school districts are best. So I'm going to choose a neighborhood in a better school district because I understand about bonds and how school districts receive their money, right? I understand that. So of course, if you live in a better neighborhood, the way that the homes are taxed, there's more money flowing to those schools than that poor neighborhood over there. That shit fucking matters. But go ahead. My bad.
No, it's true. All that matters is a domino effect. And the thing is, we forget about that because a lot of dudes move on emotions. right? They're moving off that emotion instead of making that decision a long time ago to say, hey, if I had some kids, this is how I'm going to do it. This is why I want to do it this way. Now, if it doesn't work out, hey, I tried my best to provide them with this, and I'll try my best to take care of whatever in a different situation. But at least for the utmost, try to provide them with that. I do want to leave with this, though. Earlier, I was talking about emotions and discussing and arguing with a female and things like that. But I'm gonna flip it a different way. Sometimes your emotion will miss important things that she is saying because you're too emotional to hear it. You're too reactive to understand what she's saying, right? There's gonna be times. Now, I don't know about the type of women everybody else like, but I like really smart women. I like women.
I do too.
Like
but what makes a woman smart is her listening skills. But go ahead.
Yeah, hey, but at the same time, I like it when I could say, hey, I'm talking about these finances and blah, 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 and we can do this and we could do that. Oh, yeah. Because if we do this, I was reading about that. Oh, did you hear about this investment? Let me look into it. Like, I like having that with anybody I'm around, right? So with anybody you're around, and if you're around somebody a lot, I'd rather have a smart one than a dumb one. That's me.
No, to your point.
In the past, in the past, I would miss information because of my ego, because of my emotion of whatever it was at the time, and I missed some important information, and then I have to come back to it and be like, "What'd you say? I don't remember you saying that. Yeah, I said it with this and oh, okay. Well, now I'm caught up. But man, I wish I had done it back then, And I'm not saying everything they say is golden. That ain't what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is when you conversate with emotions, it doesn't allow you to listen and process. And that's why a lot of guys kind of lose when it comes to conversating with ladies. They're real smooth with the words. A lot of times you lose because you're too emotional and you ain't hearing it together. And I'm going to tell y'all this. You don't believe me? Think back to when you heard something on the phone or she said something. Then later on when you're driving, you was like, man, I should have said this. Well, your emotions was high. You couldn't think to say that at the time. You couldn't think to express yourself the way you really wanted to because you were too busy in your emotions instead of sitting back and be like, okay, I hear what you're saying. Okay, let me process that. And here's my rebuttal to that. Right. So that's about it, man. Zach, I'm sorry I got to cut. I got some family stuff to take care of. And I always appreciate having you on the show. Individuals, whoever's watching, I know you guys can't call in, but ask your questions. It not only helps you, but helps other people. And I always appreciate this platform, man. So,
all right, my brother. And until next week.
Yep. Next week. All
right. Peace. All right. And then there was one. So real quick, before we get back into the drop, never let a woman's words control your emotions. I want to touch on what Jay Roman and I was talking about marriage and children, right? And this is what I want you guys to understand. And I've talked about this before, right? So for those of you who haven't heard it, you'll hear it now, right? I've experienced both. I've had children outside of wedlock, and I've had children while being married, right? So I've seen the difference in how children adapt when they're not under the same roof as you, and they live over there with their mother, and you got to pick them up and all that other shit. Versus, you just wake up and your children are right there in their beds, right? You wake up every morning, you can cook them breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Every night before you put them to bed, you know what I'm saying? Or you put them to bed, you can read them a story, right? When Jay Roman was talking about his son, he was like, Dad, we all have the same last name. All your children, you, mom, we're all Smiths, or we're all Johnsons. And for his child, for his son to come to him and say that to him, that shows you the things that are in the minds of a child. Not every child is going to admit to that or speak to that. But the fact that his son came to him, it showed what was on his son's mind. And that's important, right? So even me being a father, if I'm hearing my son say how proud he is to have the same last name as me, and because his mother had the same last name and we all have the same, that shit is profound that little boy think that way. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, right? But also, when we talk about legalities, right? If you have children outside of wedlock, right? And I've told you guys this. Let's say for the sake of argument, you have a girlfriend and y'all have a baby, right? No, fuck it. Y'all have twins. So I can really illustrate my point. Y'all have twins. So let's say the twins are 8 years old now and you and a woman break up for whatever reason. Y'all break up, right? Not only, and this is assuming you guys were never married, right? 8 years old, y'all break up. You got 2 kids now, right? You got 2 kids that are no longer under the same roof as you. Not only can that woman put you on child support, right, for the next 10 years, but she can get back child support. She can go back in time and say, hey, Your Honor, hey, Mr. Attorney General or Mrs. Attorney General, for the last 8 years, he ain't done shit for me. Can you get back child support too? You know, I'm gonna need them 8 years, right? So now when your wages are garnished, okay, they double dipping in your shit for 2 kids. Bro, do you know how broke you gonna be? You know what I'm saying? And women can do that. They can get back child support. And I don't want to hear no shit about, oh, we was all paying bills and I bought this. The Attorney General don't give a fuck about what you was doing them 8 years. But when you're married though, and you get a divorce, that bitch cannot go back in time and get those 8 years. Now she can get them 10 years going forward, but she can't go back in time. But if you single and you have children out of wedlock, they most definitely can. You know what I'm saying? Believe that. Believe that. And let me just say this. And if you don't believe me, Google Eddie Curry. Eddie Curry, former basketball player, used to play for the Chicago Bulls. He came into the league straight out of high school, right? What happened to him, and this is a cautionary tale, he had a child with a woman out of wedlock. He paid child support. He paid it, but he paid it to her though. He didn't pay it through the legal system, right? His wages weren't being garnished, right? He had an arrangement with the woman where he was just sending her money. So in about 18 years and like $1 million, $2 million later, right? That's how much money he gave her, was like $1 million or $2 million over those 18 years. When that child turned 18 and she realized she wasn't going to get no more money, what do you think she went and did to that man? She went to the court and said she ain't got shit in 18 years. And he had proof that he was paying this chick. But the judge said, but you wasn't giving the money to us though. See, you got to pay us. You got to give the money to us and we'll give the money to her. See, the Attorney General, if they're not the go-between between monies, it don't count. And y'all need to know that. If the Attorney General is not involved, it don't count. Understand that. It don't matter what kind of arrangement y'all got. If the Attorney General is not involved in that arrangement, it doesn't count in a court of law. Understand that. And you got a bunch of dudes who don't know laws. Y'all don't know laws and y'all want to fuck with these bitches, you better know the law. Y'all better know. This is why, even though I've been divorced and all of that, I never got fucked. I always came out shining in divorces because I knew the laws, but guess what? The women didn't. The women I was involved with, they didn't know what I knew. And I was quiet as kept. I wasn't going to share with them what I knew. I'm going to keep that shit in my back pocket because if you fuck up, bitch, I'm going to use it later. to make sure I don't get fucked in divorce proceedings, right? Now, understand that. Know the laws, right? Also, real quick, before we move on, understand which laws have community property. Community property. Texas is one of them, which means if you go through a divorce, they're not going to kick you out of your house as a man. They're not going to do that. Okay, what the judge is going to do in the state of Texas, if you're going through a divorce and y'all can't make up your mind who's going to keep the house, the judge is going to make you sell it. That's what the judge is going to do. The judge is not going to be like, oh, she can stay, you got to go. No. The judge is going to be like, oh, y'all can't agree? Both of y'all get the fuck out. Sell it. That's what they do. Now, if both of you are on the mortgage and you're leaving the house, right? Listen to what I'm telling you. And you're leaving the house. You can tell the woman, buy me out. That's exactly what I did. When I got divorced, she had to cut me a check. She had to cut me a motherfucking check. And I worked it. So as though even when she sells that house, if she sells that house, I still get money. Because she couldn't afford to give me everything up front. So I said, all right, give me a check in this amount. The rest of it, if you sell that house, I'll get it. I'll get my money then, right? And it's in legal documents with the court, nigga. I'm covered, right? So anyway, back to my point. All right, let's some questions. What are we talking about? Never let a woman's words control your emotions. All right, real quick, let me salute to the homie. $5. Appreciate your time and wisdom, Zach. Man, I got to let y'all know because, guys, instead of crying and whining about how the laws are unfair, go back and learn which laws you can use to your advantage. Yes, there's going to be some things as men that you're not going to like, but there's other things where if you actually learned how to use it to your advantage, you can come out, smelling like a fresh bar of soap at the end of it, right? So we got some questions, fellas. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, hold on. So he says, fellas, I'm having problems in being consistent and approaching women. I only do it when I feel like I'm doing it, and I notice that I don't get any improvement doing that. A lot of you guys, you're putting too much pressure on yourself to just have a regular conversation with women. Regular conversation, right? Stop concerning yourself. Stop concerning yourself with trying to be what you think a woman wants you to be. Stop concerning yourself with behaving in a way you think is acceptable to women. So if you're moving around and you're in your head about what you're going to say, because you're overly concerned with how the woman might take it, whether or not she's going to be offended and all that shit, you're going to struggle like this, right? And another thing, guys, for all you guys, if you don't like the bar scene, if you don't like the club scene, if you don't like it, do not go. Don't force yourself to go to places you don't like, right? And the reason why, here's the main reason why. If you force yourself to go to places that you don't like, you're only motivated to be there to meet women, okay, or to get some pussy. So if that doesn't come to fruition, you're going to be frustrated, right? It's going to impact your mood. This is why I tell you guys, build a life that you like, right? Whatever your hobbies or interests are, go to places that supplement your hobbies and interests, right? So if you're into, I don't know, fucking model planes, go to places where they fly those big old model remote control planes or something, right? If you're into comic books and all of that, Star Wars, go to places like that, Comic-Cons and all them other places. Go to places like that so you're already somewhere you want to be, whether women are there or not. But it just so happens some of the same things you guys find interest in, there is a demographic of women who also find an interest in the same thing. There are gamer girls. For all you gaming guys, all you geeks and shit, there are chicks who are heavily into gaming, right? So all you have to do is position yourself to be around things that you actually enjoy, and by virtue of that, you're gonna run into women that share the similar interest. Fuck with those women. So that way you don't have to hide who you are, right? A lot of you guys do that. Like you might hear a guy say, oh man, if you're in the video games, you can't be honest and tell women you're in the video games. The fuck you can't? Yes, you can. Why would you deal with a woman who got a problem with that? It makes more sense to deal with a woman who celebrates it. Even if she's not a gamer herself. Deal with a woman who don't mind, you know what I'm saying, you know, buying you a new joystick if you need one, or a new controller, or whatever the fuck they call them. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, bro, I know women who buy their men gaming systems and shit like that. Right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Look. Shout out to all my women. I got some game for y'all. Right? Here, women. For all you women complaining about guys playing video games, let me help y'all out. Shout out to one of my sister-in-laws. I have 2 sister-in-laws, right? Right. So for those of you who I can't even talk. For those of you who don't know, right? I have a twin brother, right? So what him and I would do every now and again, we would get together at his spot, my spot, and we would just play Madden or something, right? For a couple of hours. His woman, right? The reason why his woman, you know, bought him an Xbox or whatever the fuck he had, right? Was because, and this is what she said, right? She said she was talking to us. Like me and him, we was there, she was talking to us. She said, I don't mind that my man is on that game all day. At least I know where he's at. That's exactly what she said. At least I know where he's at. And her motivation was, I have a man who loves these games so much that he's liable to be here on a Saturday night than running the streets with his single boys, right? And that's exactly where my twin was, at the crib, on that video game with his wife right there, right? So that was her motivation, right? But you have a lot of women, though, who are game goofy, and they don't understand how to position themselves to make sure they get what they want. All they got to do is pacify their man just a little bit. Lean into it. Oh, he likes video games? He's in the house all day? Would you rather him be running the streets or in the house? I'm just hey, you got to pick one. You got to pick one, right? But at least he's there, right? So, guys, when it comes to women, gentlemen, when you're out and about, when you go to the dry cleaners, to the grocery store, to the cigar shop, whatever you do, when you go wash your car, even at the car wash, guys, I've had conversations with women at a car wash. Both of y'all are washing your car. You know what I'm saying? You're talking, you're smiling, chit-chatting, exchanging contact information, right? Talking about how hot it is, this Texas heat. And she's like, damn, you're sweating. Right? I've had a woman say, she's like, damn, I'm sweating, right? I'm sweating. And I said, yeah, girl, there's only one activity where I actually like to sweat. Right? I'm you know, right? Sexual innuendos and shit. Right? But I'm in my element because I'm washing my car. I'm doing something that I want to do or need to do. And I just happen to see a woman that I'm attracted to, and I start a conversation. Right? It's really that simple. Start a regular human conversation. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? All right, girl, you know, I love the way you holding that brush with them 2 hands. That shit look kind of hot the way you hold that motherfucker. You got a grip on that motherfucking stick. Right? And that's me, my personality. That's something that I would say. Like, even in a grocery store. If I'm walking by the cucumber aisle and a chick is gripping a cucumber, feeling it, see if it's soft or hard, I'm liable to say something. I'm like, you find any soft spots yet? Or is it as stiff as you like? You know what I'm saying? What's she gonna do? Right? If she's offended, she might roll her eyes at you. And she might ignore you. And she might not respond at all to what you said. I've had that happen too. Who cares? Keep it pushing, right? But you guys, a lot of you guys are so caught up. Again, never let a woman's words control your emotions. If a woman says, yes, I would love to come to your house and have sex, you should not get excited about that. If a woman says, hell no, I don't want to come to your house and have sex, you should not feel any way about that either. It goes back to this. Hold on. It goes back to what I said earlier. Indifference. I don't need your words to determine how I feel. I observe you and decide accordingly. I judge women based on actions, the actions that they take. If I tell a woman to take out her phone and put my number in her phone, and she says, why don't you take my number? I don't normally call men. Guess what? Her actions told me that I need to walk away because she don't know how to listen. I'm judging her based on the fact that she don't know how to listen. You understand what I'm saying? Conversely, if you're telling a woman, hey, I want to do a date at this coffee shop, or I want to grab a drink at this location, and she is like, ugh, coffee? You can't pick a better date than that? Oh, conversation over. The bitch don't know how to listen, and she's being picky, right? So I'm not mad at her, and I don't feel any emotional way because of her words. I just noticed that she's not taking action to what I said. I said, I want to do this. She don't want to do it. If she's not taking action, why am I fucking with her? There's no reason to get upset with the young lady. No reason to get mad about the shit. Be indifferent. Hold on. Gentlemen, it don't mean that I hate the woman. I'm not being disrespectful. And I'm not pretending not to care. I actually don't care. Repeat what I said. I'm not pretending to not care. I really don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't care. I really don't. Right? It means maintaining emotional neutrality, meaning I'm not up and I'm not down. I'm not happy and I'm not sad. I'm in the middle. I'm neutral. I don't feel no kind of way about a woman's no. I just know her no wasn't a yes, so I need to keep moving. That's all that is. Be indifferent to that shit. All right, so let me move on real quick. Shout out to the homie. Hold on, make sure I think I missed somebody right there. Let me get him first. No, did I get you already, nigga? Okay, well, shout out to 100% me with the $9.99, always coming up with top tier game. Bro, I try. You know, I try. The homie with the $4.99 had to contribute, always dropping. Okay, so we got another question. Let's go ahead and get to that right quick. And I believe, Marktavius, you said I already answered your question, but you know, because we ain't taking calls, man, you know, I'll throw it up here. So a woman's word should be more of confirmation rather than validation. And yes, and gentlemen, I actually have a video discussing this, where a woman's compliments should be confirmation to what you already know. So if a woman tells you, you smell good, you should be like, bitch, I know. That's why I put on this fragrance. I agree with you. It's a phenomenal scent. So when a woman tells you, damn, you smell good, I mean, you can thank her. You know, always show appreciation and gratitude for a compliment. You know, you just simply tell her, I appreciate that. But you already know it smells good. If a woman tells you that you're handsome, bitch, I know I'm handsome. I looked in the mirror this morning and I concurred. And then I looked in the mirror like 5 more times before I left the crib and I concurred again. Yes, I think I'm handsome too. Thank you. If a woman tells you, damn, you know how to fuck, you should be like, I appreciate that. But in your mind, you should be like, bitch, I know. You're not the first woman to tell me this. And I've seen evidence of my handiwork all across America, right? I know what I'm doing. I mean, I appreciate that you're verbalizing that you know what I'm doing, but I already know that. This is why a woman's compliments don't move me, right? And let me just say this real quick. Guys don't understand how deep the well goes with manipulation and how manipulative women can be, right? And I'm not saying this to denigrate women or to talk down on women. I'm just keeping it real. Let me explain what I mean. Let me explain what I mean. And this is what a lot of guys don't understand about women. A lot of guys don't understand this about women. Women are very, very observant, right? And women, more so than men, in my opinion, have more of a heightened sense of awareness when it comes to behaviors than men do, right? So let me explain what I mean. This is what women know when it comes to compliments, right? Let me break this down to y'all. Show you how y'all be fucking up. This is what women know. Women know that men overvalue compliments, meaning when they compliment women. Women know that most men are full of shit when they get compliments from y'all. This is what women know to be true. They know that most compliments that they get from men are very disingenuous and that men are full of shit. And the reason why women know this is the reason why they know this, is because a lot of women, most women, I'm not going to say all women, right? But most women, they've been complimented at some point, probably multiple times by multiple men. And because the man didn't get the response he wanted from the woman, the guy reacted in a harsh manner towards the woman. So what women have figured out, most women, is that guys believe that their compliments should move the woman, and that guys want to be validated for their compliments, right? Right? Stay with me, right? Because it gets deep. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this, right? When we talk about psychology, right? You know, the game is psychological. All this shit is psychological. Don't let nobody fool you with all this love shit and provide. People talk all this stupid shit on the surface shit about dating dynamics and relationships. No. All that shit is just babble for the internet for a bunch of game goofy motherfuckers who truly don't understand shit. When we talk about this shit is psychological, right? Because women have figured out that men want to be validated for compliments, and they figure, this is what women realize. Oh, these guys are complimenting as a way to curry favor with us. You know, they want us to respond in a positive, favorable way, so they feel good about the fact that their compliment, you know, is being, you know, someone is thanking them for their compliment, right? So what women have figured out, not all women, right, have figured out is, reverse psychology on these niggas. Let me reverse psychology on them. Let me compliment them and watch what happens. So what women have figured out by complimenting guys is that a lot of guys are sucker for words. Oh, all I got to do is make this nigga feel good about himself with words. I don't even have to do any action. I ain't even got to fuck this goofy nigga. I can just say some positive, enlightening things about him, and before you know it, he's going to be moving in a direction that I like, right? I'll go even further. Let me go further with it. And I'm going to show you how women leverage you guys' compliments against you, right? For those of you, if you've ever received images or pictures from a woman you just met, unsolicited, meaning you didn't ask for these pictures. She just arbitrarily just sent you some pictures, right? This woman you just met, whether you met her face to face, you exchange contact information, she has your number, and she just starts sending you some images, right? Either that or you match online and she starts sending you shit, right? The main reason why women do that, right? Why they send you that, right? And I want guys to understand, like, I'm gonna show you. If a woman has your phone number, right? Think about this. If a woman has your phone number and she's genuinely sexually attracted to you, if she has your phone number, what would compel her to send you images of herself rather than texting you or calling you and telling you she wants to see you or asking you, are you busy, because she's available? Think about that. If a woman has a way to communicate or to contact you and she chooses to send you pictures of her instead of you seeing her face to face, the reason why women do that is because they're fishing for compliments. Okay, stay with me. When women send you unsolicited pictures, they're fishing for compliments. And the reason why they're fishing for compliments is because they want to see how enamored you are about how they look. They want to see how captivated you are. They want to see if they can get you wrapped around their finger just strictly based on how they look. Stay with me. If a woman can get you wrapped around her finger just based on how she looks, she can manipulate you easily. She can make you wait for sex. She can make you take you on all these different dates, multiple dates maybe, right? She can toy with you a little bit, right? Because she sees, oh, this guy wants to fuck me real bad. Oh, this motherfucker, look how he's talking, right? And that's why when you tell women, oh, you are so gorgeous, you are so beautiful. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, what women begin to deduce from you is he's not used to a bitch who look like me. And right then and there, they know they got you. Right then and there. Right then and there. If a woman believes that, one, you're not used to dealing with attractive women that look like her, and or you believe she's the best looking woman you've ever talked to, or a woman who's shown interest in you, oh, bro, she got you. She got you. She got you. She got you. Yeah, never in my life, gentlemen. Now, I've complimented women. You know, I might compliment them on the shape of their legs. I might compliment a woman on her hairstyle or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I might compliment a woman on her curves even. But one thing I've never done, unless there's only one exception that I make, right? But one thing I've never done is compliment women on how they look facially, like using the words beautiful, pretty, stunning, gorgeous. I've never used any of those type of superlatives to describe a woman, right? And the only time that I would tell a woman is that she's beautiful or pretty is if she's my woman. My woman. My woman, right? And what I mean by that is we're in a relationship and she puts on something and she comes out in something nice. And she asks me, babe, how do I look in this? If I think she looks beautiful, I'm going to tell her, beautiful, bring your ass over here. My woman, I'm not telling no random bitch that she's beautiful. Nigga, are you crazy? For what? And it's not about, you know, blowing up her head and feeding her ego. I don't give a fuck about none of that. It's about, chick, I don't know you. I don't know you. Because see, you have to understand that me telling my woman that she's beautiful, it's not just the visual. It's the fact that she's my woman. So the fact that she's my woman, she has to be a beautiful person to be my woman. So the fact that she's a beautiful person and then she comes out looking visually stunning, you damn right she's beautiful to me, right? But a bitch I just met, I don't know you well enough to say that about you. I don't know your character yet. I got to see how you act. I got to see how you conduct yourself. Bitch, I got to see if you know how to listen. And if you're dealing with a woman who is attempting to withhold sex, hell no, she ain't beautiful. She's ugly. She might as well be precious. Any woman who attempts to withhold sex is precious to me. She looks like Precious. That's what she looked like. Or Rasputia. She might as well look like that. She might as well look like a swamp donkey to me. Or a mud duck. Bitch try to withhold sex, she's ugly. Instantly. Any woman that does that, oh, she's ugly. Can't fuck with you. Right? That's just me though. That's just me though. Right? So hold on, let me get to these other questions. Hold on real quick. Oh, he says, hold on real quick. I wanted to bring, he said, I never called a woman bitch until recently. Look, the word bitch stays in heavy rotation on my vocabulary. And I don't necessarily say it to be disrespectful, right? Simply because during sex, I've told women, you are a nasty bitch. And those women said, I know. You like it though. I'm like, you damn right, you nasty bitch. so it depends on how you're using it, right? It depends on how you're using it, right? So anyway, so let me get to the next question. Okay, so he says, I think you already did that. Okay, oh, no. You says, okay, so it says you promote, if you identify a woman you want to have kids with, would you suggest telling her that I want kids with you, but I'm not going to be faithful? Guys, check this out. Less is more. Less is more. Okay, let me explain. The most prudent thing for you to do as a man is to show women who you are and what you are about based on the actions that you take. Show women. Okay, let me elaborate. So if you meet a new woman, right, for instance, right, and you guys are just having sex, nothing else, just sex, right? You have a fuck buddy scenario, right? And let's say she gathers from interacting with you that in all likelihood, she's not the only woman that you're dicking down, right? Because she's experiencing you, she knows that she probably isn't the only chick, right? Simply because of how she feels when she's with you. She's like, I know other women probably feel like me too, so I'm probably not the only one, right? So if women are dealing with guys who they believe are also attractive to other women, more than likely they're going to believe you're fucking other women, right? So what some women may do at some point, they may mention to you, well, this is what I'm used to. Let me explain what I'm used to, right? This is what I'm used to. I'm not used to women telling me, what are we? What is this thing that we're doing? That's not what women typically do with me, right? What women typically do with me, they just tell me how they feel. I think I'm falling for you. Hey, Carrie, I don't know if you know, but I'm starting to care about you. I care about you a lot. And I know what we're doing is just sex, but I just want you to know. I'm used to women doing that. Right? Or I'm used to women saying, is there ever a chance that we could potentially date seriously, and if so, would you be interested in a monogamous relationship? I've had women say things along those roads too. So here's the thing though. All you got to do is tell women, assuming that women mention that to you, all you got to do is tell them, look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm non-monogamous. You're never gonna have me to yourself. And that's a hard pill to swallow when a woman is really feeling you. For you to tell her to her face while looking her dead in her eyes, you're never gonna have me to yourself. It's not gonna happen. Right? Now, before you even start talking about kids or anything like that, the first order of business is to understand what kind of relationship that could be had, right? So a woman, she might look at you as a potential boyfriend or maybe even a future father of her children, but the moment you tell her you're non-monogamous, she's like, never mind. So a woman can change her mind about whether or not she wants to advance the interaction with you based on the fact that you're telling her you're going to be non-monogamous. So this is why you need to show women who you are and what you are about. So if and when that conversation comes up, it's not too far of a stretch for you to tell a woman, no, I'm not going to be monogamous at all. But if you're interested in pursuing something more serious, we can have a discussion. And if she's cool with that type of relationship, then in all likelihood, she'll be cool with the rest of it, right? Assuming that she trusts in your leadership, though. That's the thing. Real quick, I want y'all to understand something. At the beginning of the live streams, when we do the intro, I talk about that. I talk about how if you're going to deal with multiple women, any new woman coming into your life can never have more access to you than your main woman. You can't do that. If you have a main chick, she needs to be able to see. She needs to be able to look down on all the other bitches. Okay, let me explain. She needs to feel that her position in your life is so much loftier than all the other women, right? Simply because, let's say your woman has been with you for 2-3 years, as an example, and you meet a new chick, and within a week or two, you're giving her similar treatment to what your current woman is getting. Any woman will have a problem with that. Like, wait a minute, hold on, nigga. You made me go through all of that shit just to get to this point? It took me a year or two to get to a certain level with you, and this bitch is already getting similar benefits in the first week or two? Every woman will have a problem with that. Right? So it's just a matter, guys, when you talk about vetting women and shit, there's so much that goes into it. Because a lot of guys, they don't consider shit beyond the surface. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys are surface level thinkers when it comes to the foundation of relationship building. Right? A lot goes into that shit. Right? So anyway, all right, I hope I answered your question regarding that, brother. So this is a statement. He says, I realized my ego would allow me to get into bouts with certain chicks where I would be explaining myself and constantly giving rebuttals that directly hindered how I maintain relationships. Yep. Get out of the habit of explaining yourself to anybody. It's not just women. It's anybody. When you explain yourself to people, consciously or subconsciously, or both, subconsciously and or subconsciously, when you explain yourself to people, what you're signifying is that you're not confident in your own philosophies. You're not confident in your own ideologies or your belief system. Why would you explain yourself? Like the only time, and this is specifically when dealing with women, okay, the only time you need to get wordy with some shit is when a woman is confused about something and you're just clarifying something. That's it. That's it. But as an example, like one time I had a woman, right? I was dealing with this woman, not too long ago. And she real quick, let me say something about women, right? It doesn't matter if a woman is 20, 30, 40, or 50. They're all goofy. Okay, it don't matter, right? Let me explain what I mean by that. The same shit that women do in their 20s, a woman in her 40s will do when it comes to the level of emotional maturity and all that other shit. And also a woman's delusions, right? Let me explain about a woman being delusional. So I had a woman in her 40s, mind you, late 40s. On one hand, I guess she called herself showing me sexual interest, right? She called herself, showing me that, right? While at the same time, simultaneously trying to withhold sex while also trying to get me not to fuck with other chicks. A bitch I just met. Okay, I need you to understand, right? So, what ended up happening was I told her, I said, nah, that ain't gonna happen. I said, if you fucking with me, we fucking, right? So then she tried to do this. She tried to get me to explain to her why I thought that way. Why? And I simply told her, because I said so. That's it. Because I think I said because I say so or because I said so. That's it. I'm not going to explain to you why I prefer dealing with multiple women. I don't owe that explanation to you. Because I said so, bitch, because I want to. What the fuck are we talking about? All right. So a lot of times, guys, y'all get caught up when you guys are moving in a way that women feel some kind of way about, you feel a need to explain it so you can make her feel okay about it. Oh, she's uncomfortable with what I said. She feels uneasy with what I said. Let me try and clean it up. And let me try and explain it in a way where it's acceptable to her. And a lot of times, that's what women want as well, right? They don't like the way you made them feel based on the way you said something. So it's almost like they want you to clean it up so you can make them feel better or something. And it's like, nah, I need you to feel how you're feeling right now because you're being goofy. So if you feel some kind of way, I'm gonna need you to sit with those feelings, let that shit marinate, and you know, think about that for a moment. Because you talking to the wrong nigga about waiting for sex, bitch. Talk to that nigga over there. Talk to him, not to me. All right. So he says cigars. That's right. And I'm gonna smoke one right after this live joint too. Shout out to the homie I know I saw him come up in here. Shout out to the man mindset, Steve, the motherfucking Dean Williams. That's right. Get the likes up and support the movement. Shout out to Sinful the P. Make sure that my likes match the views. Make sure the likes match the views. RIP to Sinful the P. RIP. Real quick. Make sure I got y'all questions because there were some questions here. Okay, hold on. Give me a second, y'all. All right, there. Yeah, so I already kind of explained that, you know, you would have to get coaching for more details and shit. Or you can holler at the homie Lucario and shit. Because I know he has a program about that. Whether you get coaching with me, him, or somebody else, yeah, get more coaching. Let's move on. So he says, I'm on child support, but my baby mother never fully submitted paperwork. So I have an order, but it's not active. Well, I have to be the one to push it through. I haven't paid yet. And that story got me nervous. Bruh. See, when it comes to backdated child support, there's a lot of women who don't know that. Right? But I'm gonna give y'all a secret. I'm gonna tell y'all how to get away from that. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Right? And before you ever consider this, consult with an attorney. Right? Before you try and do what I'm telling you. Talk to an attorney first. If you guys, let me give y'all some game. For all you guys who have children or you're endeavoring to have children specifically outside of wedlock. Now, I can't speak for other states. I don't know if you can do this in other states. I just know in the state of Texas, you can. If a woman ever tries to put you on child support. Now, let me say this. If the woman files child support petition or child support order with the attorney general, it's too late. Once she files it, it's too late. You can't do what I'm about to tell you. Once she files it, it's too late. It has to be before she files it. So if you think or you catch wind or she threatens to file it, then this is something you can consider. Consult with an attorney first. So if a woman tries to put you on backdated child support, one thing that would get rid of that is a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. A Chapter 13, not a Chapter 7. It has to be a 13. Now, and again, I don't know if other states allow it. I don't even know if they still do it in Texas anymore, but they did at one point in time, right? A Chapter 13 bankruptcy will stop her in her tracks, right? So what happens? So this is how it works. So let's say you file Chapter 13 for whatever reason, right? And if you're in court, like say you filed a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and after that, she tries to get backdated child support. What's gonna happen is somebody in a court is going to bring that to her attention and your attention, right? That's happening. And they're going to be like, she can't get that. You can't get backdated child support. You can get child support going forward, but you can't get backdated child support because he filed bankruptcy. Right? So this game right there for y'all, right? Again, laws, bruh. You got to know shit. You got to know shit. You got to know shit. And when it comes to laws, y'all have to understand the difference between state laws and federal laws. When you talk about the AG or the Attorney General, that's federal. But at the same time, child support laws are different from state to state, right? Even alimony laws are different from state to state, right? But anyway. So he says, I challenge the system in one, favor Zag, but unfortunately, a lot of men are scared of the courts. Bro, the courts actually, bro, I remember real quick, my first divorce, right? And I talked about this, right? My first divorce that I had, right? I remember being in court, right? And I got to tell y'all this, and it's not about race, but at the time, I thought it might be, right? Like, listen to what I'm telling y'all. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. It's not about race, but at the time, I thought it might be, right? So my first wife, if y'all don't know, you know what I'm saying? She was a white chick, right? So when we got divorced, I'm sitting in court. So she's white. Her attorney is a white woman, and the judge is a white man, right? So my black ass is sitting in court, and I'm like, man, they're about to fuck me over in this motherfucking court, right? Because they're about to be like, this black man fucked over this white woman. They're about to make her a victim in this motherfucker, right? That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking at first, right? And then when it was all said and done, at the end of the proceedings, my soon-to-be ex-wife, she asked, her and her attorney, they asked the judge, they said, Judge, we would like him to pay for the attorney fees. Okay, this is what they asked the judge to do. They asked the judge to basically stick me with her attorney fees, right? And the judge said, to my surprise, I was amazed, right? He said, absolutely not. He wanted the divorce. You pay for it, ma'am. And he swung the gavel. This case is dismissed. I looked at that table, bro. I'm telling you, I was laughing like a motherfucker. I was laughing. My attorney had to calm me down. Like, calm down. I was laughing like a motherfucker. Right? But my point is this. Right? Right? So this is why when guys be complaining about shit, I'm like, when I got divorced, all that bad negative shit y'all talk about, that shit didn't happen to me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't lose my house. You know what I'm saying? That shit never happened. One house I stayed in, the chick moved out. I kept the house. The other house I moved out, but I got paid. She had to buy me out. Nigga, I'm always winning. Like, shit. So anyway, that's how I look at it. I'm always gonna win. Look, let me tell y'all something. Even when I take an L, it turns into a W. Okay, listen to what I'm telling y'all. Even when I take an L, it turns into a W. One of the things, God bless the dead, right? Rest in power. You know what I'm saying? My mother, right? My mother was fascinated with how I would get out of shit all the time, right? And my mother used to always say, I'm amazed at how you land on your feet. She's like, you never really go through negative shit for too long. You find a way to come out that shit. And I'm like, I know, mama. You know what I'm saying? I know that's you know, I make it happen. This is why when chicks want to break up or divorce, I'm like, bye. Trust, baby girl, I got it all figured out. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you a little bit. I'm going to miss you. That pussy was wet. I might miss that a little bit. But baby girl, you got to go, though. You got to go. You got to go. That's why I don't sit around crying about women. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Let me stop talking shit. Let me get to the next question. Okay, hold on. Okay, all right. All right, hold on right there. All right. So he says, so if y'all been having sex for a while, could she also be trying to entice you or rile you up if y'all been having sex for a while? I'm not sure as to the nature of your question. When you said y'all been having sex for a while, she could also be trying to entice you. Well, I mean, guys, here's the thing. Right? And I've said this. You know, all my relationships, marriage, whatever, they all started off as fuck buddies. All of them. They wasn't making me wait for sex, right? But they all started off as fuck buddies. But my point is I've never had women badger me. I've never had a woman badger me about trying to make her a woman or trying to date her seriously. I've never had a woman badger me, right? And the reason why women don't badger me about that is because I make my intentions clear from the beginning. But not only do I make my intentions clear verbally and with my actions, but also y'all got to remember this, guys. You got to remember this about women. Always remember this. Women are always observing and evaluating you every time. Even if it's subconscious, even if they don't realize it. Anytime a woman communicates with you, whether it's face-to-face, sexually, out on a date, non-sexually, over the phone, it doesn't matter. Any type of communication you and a woman do, you're being evaluated and observed at all times, every time. Every time. This is why women can detect inconsistencies. Because you're being, again, it can be conscious on a woman's part, but it can be unconscious or subconscious, where you're being always observed and evaluated. So, in my situation with women, because I make it clear, my intentions is to fuck the shit out of you. What say you to that? Right? I make it clear. I even had, real quick, my ex-wife, my last wife, before we even had sex, and I talked about this recently as well, she's the one that mentioned fuck buddy. Like, she brought that shit up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, hold on. Before we commit to being fuck buddies, we got to have sex first. We got to make sure that we mutually like that shit. And she was like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, yeah, calm down. We can revisit this later. Let's go ahead and fuck first. And then we can revisit whether or not we want to make it an ongoing thing. Right? But my point is this, is all my situations start off as fuck buddy situations. The women already knew what time it was. So I didn't have women pressuring me to do this or that, right? When I tell you guys, right, when I use the words campaign and audition, when I say whatever role a woman wants in your life, she needs to campaign, like on a campaign trail, like a politician. She's campaigning for a role in your life, right? She's auditioning, kind of like someone, they want a role. They're going to go to an audition and they're going to audition, right? So my point is this. When you have women, and this is important, when you have women who actually respect you and they actually value you and they see the value in dealing with you beyond the superficiality of things, meaning when I talk about superficial, sex is superficial. How you look is superficial. How a woman feels about you is superficial, right? When we start talking about a person's character and things of that nature, right? When a woman actually values you as a man, she's going to know that how she looks in sex is not enough to woo you. It's not enough to get you to date her seriously. She's going to know that, right? Especially if you're a player with options. A woman is going to know he can get pussy whenever. He's fucking other chicks. So he's not moved by pussy. He's not moved by sex. And the other women he's having sex with, they're just as attractive, if not more attractive than me. So when it comes to the superficiality of attractiveness, a woman's going to know that her exterior beauty and sex means nothing to you and that you won't be moved or subdued with sex. So she has to bring more to the table, right? This is why I talk about hashtag her debit card works too. Women spend money on things that they value, and that's a fact. That's a fact that they do. Women spend money on things they value. It's a fact that they do. So if you have a woman who's wanting to spend money on a man that she's dealing with and she's wanting to do it consistently, she values that connection. She values access to that man. And what she signifies, guys, when a woman is doing shit And this has nothing to do with a woman being your girlfriend or wife. I'm talking about if a woman is doing shit for you and she hadn't even got them titles yet, right? When and here's the thing about women doing shit for you. It's not gonna last forever. Okay, and what I mean by that is this. Typically, if women are doing shit for you and it's been they're not really doing shit for you, they're doing shit for themselves, right? But the appearance of it is they're doing something for you, but they're doing shit for themselves. But if women are doing shit like, folding your laundry, cooking you some meals or spending some money or whatever, if women are doing that and they see that it's not yielding any results, meaning you're not getting any closer, it's not changing the dynamic of the relationship that exists between y'all, they will eventually stop. That shit it's gonna dry. It's gonna dry up. That well will dry up. So understand that women are not selfless creatures, right? Understand what I'm telling you. Women are not selfless. Now, can women commit acts of selflessness? Yes, but they're not selfless. Okay, women are extremely selfish. I mean, we all are to a degree, but in my opinion, there is no creature on God's green earth that's more selfish and more self-centered and more about me than a human female. Etch that shit in stone. There's nobody more selfish than them. Nobody. And see, and the reason why women call men selfish, and it's quite diabolical if you ask me, but the reason why we get called selfish is because we're not doing what they want. That's all that is. When a man gets called selfish, it's simply because you're not playing by her rules. You're not doing what I want you to do. You're not acting or behaving in a way that I benefit, even if you don't benefit. Right? That's why men get called. That's the real reason. And it's not to say that we can't be flawed. Both genders, both men and women can be guilty of being too selfish, right? We're all selfish, all right? Meaning nobody wants a relationship they don't benefit from. Nobody does. There is not a man or a woman, a child or a domestic pet that wants a relationship that they don't benefit from somehow, some way, right? The problem with women, in my earnest opinion, is they overkill with that shit, right? Which is, again, I'm gonna bring it up again, the withholding of sex or the attempting of women attempting to withhold sex. I don't benefit from that shit. I don't benefit from that. And a woman be like, well, but you get to spend time with me. I don't want to spend time talking to you over dinner when you can be my dinner, right? Come on now. I don't want to spend time talking to you over a meal when you can be my meal, right? Right? And I can be yours. I don't want to do that shit, right? But what a lot of women will do is they'll try to sell you on their greatness, which is hilarious, right? They'll try to sell you on their greatness as to why it's worth the wait. You should wait for my cookies because I'm so great. Oh, it's hilarious. Oh, hilarious. Anyway, let me stop talking shit. So for all the women, hey, look, it's all love, but somebody got to tell the truth, and I'm the truth teller. Somebody got to tell the truth about y'all, right? Okay, so hold on real quick. Okay, I think that's it for the questions, y'all. If y'all got some more questions, man, now is the time to go ahead and get them in. I'm about to wrap this up. LeBron with the 10, appreciate all the wisdom you're sharing, brother. Okay, let me say this in closing. Let me get back to the title, right? I would be remiss if I don't finish my little diatribe regarding this title. Never let a woman's words control your emotions. Let me say this real quick. And I want guys to understand this. You men, right, need to learn the difference between listening to a woman. There's nothing wrong with listening. Meaning if a woman is sharing something with you, you guys are talking, there's nothing wrong with being an active listener and paying attention to what women are saying, right? However, listening to a woman and being emotionally controlled by what she says, right? Your emotions should never spike because a woman said something that made you feel good, or she gave you a compliment about something. Like, you should never let that get to your head, ever, right? Also, let me say this. Hold on, give me a second. Her words, gentlemen, should not automatically create excitement, hope, fear, anger, or despair. Understand that. Compliments, promises, reassurance, accusations, declarations of affection, and even expressions of disinterest are simply information. That's it. Whenever a woman is talking, even if she's saying something you don't like, she's giving you information. That's what I want. It's all it is information that you're getting, right? Now, I want guys to understand this right here. Words can communicate intent. Behavior provides evidence. If a woman is sexually attracted to me, the only evidence of that is me fucking her. Now, right now. Not now, but right now. Again, if a woman is actually sexually attracted to me, the evidence of that is me telling her, come to the crib. Come to the crib, come visit me tonight. And her saying yes. And then me telling her this. Hold on real quick. Look, hold on, guys. Because I've told women this. I want y'all to understand. I've given women my phone number that I just met. Flirted with them for a couple minutes. And I told them I was free. Look, I'm free this evening. I got some availability tonight. If you're free, you should holler at me. Okay. Get a number. Hey, give me a call. Like, let's say for the sake of argument, I meet a woman at her place of employment or something, right? And I might tell her, hey, when you get off work and you get comfortable, you get all comfortable and shit, holler at me then. What time do you normally get off work? Or you get off at 6, right? So I might say, hit me up around 7, right? Because I'm giving her time to get home, get comfortable, right? Give me a call around 7. I'll let you know what I have in mind, right? So boom, she calls me. Ring, 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 ring. Hey, what's up, girl? Hey, look, like I was telling you when we was talking, I got some availability tonight. I'm going to be free around 9. Why don't you come through and come visit me? And she's like, sure, okay. Just text me the address. You said 9? Yeah. And then this is what I say. This is what I say on the phone. Make sure you wash your ass before you come over here. Just like that. I swear to God, on everything I love. I'll tell a woman that on the phone. Make sure you wash your ass before you come over here. Zach, why the hell would you tell a woman to wash her ass before she comes over to your crib? She just got off work. She been stewing in them same panties for hours, nigga. I like fresh meat, right? But not only that, this is what I know about women, right? I know that women prepare for sex. Zach, what do you mean women prepare for sex? Meaning when women know they're about to go somewhere and get some dick, they like to be fresh. They like to be clean because they never know where a man's tongue might end up. Y'all understand? Now, I do not condone or advocate putting your tongue on a woman's southern regions that you just met. I don't recommend that you do that. However, though, right? A woman, she might not know whether you're going to do that or not, or she might want you to do that. So she might prepare, right? So when I told women, make sure you wash your ass, what they've said to me is, of course. Or they might say, I was just about to get into the shower. Why? Because they're preparing for sex. They already know they coming over for some dick. They already know that, right? So understand that, gentlemen, understand that. Words can communicate intent. Behavior provides evidence. A woman can tell you that you're cute. She can tell you that you're sexy, right? If a woman tells you that you're sexy, this is a real good example right here. And women will do this, right? A woman will tell you that you're sexy. right? And because she used the word sexy, you might believe sex is possible because she used the word sexy. Now, in a lot of cases, it is, but in some cases, it's not, right? So if a woman uses the word sexy in a compliment to you, for most guys, that's going to communicate intent, right? But when you try to get her to come to the crib and she's telling you, we just met, can we at least do a date? You're like, wait a minute, hold on, I'm confused. She said I was sexy because I, as a man, listen to me, guys, and this is where guys get caught up. Because as a man, if I tell a woman she's sexy, I'm implying that I want to fuck her. So if a woman tells me the same thing, then I'm assuming she's implying the same. And that's the psychological part that gets y'all every fucking time, right? What did I tell you guys earlier? Women observe, women pay attention, right? In some cases, women are very calculating about the type of compliments they give you. Okay, listen to what I'm telling you. In some instances, I'm not saying every single woman, and I'm not saying every single time, but I am telling you it happens frequently, where there are women who are very calculating about not only complimenting you, but what they're saying, because they're trying to influence your behaviors. There is something that they want from you, and they're using compliments to basically facilitate that happening. So based on how you respond to the compliments or what they're saying, that's going to tell them whether or not they can execute their plan or whether or not they're going to meet some obstacles from you, right? See, when a woman runs into me, they're going to meet obstacles. God, I see manipulation coming from a mile away every time. 100% of the time, I see it coming all the way. Even with the pictures, a woman sending you unsolicited pictures. Guys, I've gotten pictures from chicks where they're nude. I've gotten videos where chicks are butt naked, taking a bath, showing me. I see everything. And I never asked for any of this shit. Videos, pictures, all of that. Chicks just send it to me. And the moment I say, see, you teasing me with that. You're gonna have to bring your ass to the crib and show me that face to face. Crickets. Or they start playing games, right? And the reason why they're doing that is because they anticipated that they could get attention, that they can get you to respond in a certain way based on what they're sending you. So if a woman sends me some pictures or videos, whether she's naked or not, it makes no difference to me. It's an automatic red flag. Automatic. A woman sends me anything I didn't ask for, automatic red flag. Now, with the exception of this is the only exception, okay, and I've had this happen. The only exception is when a woman is sending me a video of her playing with a pussy, and she tells me in the video, I want you to ravage this tonight. I'm free around this time. And all I do is hit her with the address and she comes over. That's the only time is when what she is showing me comes with her letting me know that she actually wants me inside of her, and then her taking action. She has to take action. Her just telling me or verbalizing it is not enough. Action. She has to take action. Right? So hold on. There's a question here. I'm about to get this last question. I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. All right. So he says, I have an issue. I won't approach women. I sometimes internalize her feeling. For example, if she feels some sort of way, I would then assume she does not like me. Well, if you wanted me to help you out, you would have to actually get coaching. There's only so much I can do on this live stream. There's only so much I can do, brother. Well, guys, your question was pretty much answered. This whole live stream, I answered your question. This whole live stream, I answered your question, right? So here's my thing about women liking you. Okay, and I've said this, and this is what you guys got to understand. Friend zone. The friend zone. There are women who have male friends that they have no desire to fuck. So the reason why the friend zone exists is because there are a demographic of men that women like but don't want to fuck. Okay, listen to what I'm telling you. The reason why the friend zone exists is because there's a demographic of men that women encounter that they like, but they don't want to fuck. So the fact, guys, stop wanting to be liked by women. It doesn't matter. Okay, and I'm going to tell this last story to illustrate my point about a woman liking you. Really doesn't matter, right? And the only time a woman really guys, when you talk about a relationship, a woman wanting to be dated by you seriously, right? Or a relationship or a marriage. And this is assuming that the woman is actually genuinely attracted to you. Her liking you is more important for a serious relationship, right? Simply because you're going to be around each other so much that she has to like you outside of sex, right? That's the only time a woman liking you really matters is outside of sex, non-sexual intimacy, affection, spending time together where you're not fucking, right? A woman liking you is important at that juncture. For purposes of casual sex encounters, a woman does not need to like you. Listen to what I'm telling you. All she needs to like is how she feels when she's around you. In your presence, she just needs to like how she feels. She doesn't need to like you, right? And again, I'm going to tell this real quick story to illustrate my point. And I told this story, I don't know, so many fucking times. Had a young lady I was dealing with. Fuck buddy. Wasn't doing no dates. Never took her out on no dates. None of that. Never spent no money on her. And, one day, I'm having a conversation with her that I shouldn't have been having. And because I'm having a conversation with her that I shouldn't have been having, that compelled her to say some things, right? And essentially what she was saying was, how come you don't take me out, or you're ashamed of me, or some shit like that. And she was only doing that because I got into a conversation with her that had nothing to do with her. And that conversation, again, made her ask that question, right? So that was my fault that even happened, right? But my point is this. When she said that shit to me, when she said, see, there you go. I know you remember the story, homie. When she said, how come you don't take me out? How come we don't go out? And are you ashamed of me? She said some shit like that. And her asking me why I didn't take her out, that didn't bother me. I didn't, if she wanted to ask that, she was curious. Fine, I wasn't mad at that. What set me off, though, was when she said, are you ashamed of me? Because my thing is, how dare you assume some shit? I don't like when people assume shit, right? So when she did that, my response was, and I told her this over the phone, not text, over the phone talking. We don't date. That's not what we do. We fuck. And these are the words I'm using, right? I need you guys to understand, right? And there's a reason why I'm talking to her in the fashion that I was doing, right? In the way that I was talking to her. Yeah, he remembered the story too, Demetrius, right? And I said, we fuck. That's what we do. We don't date. When you get horny and you want this dick, if I'm free, we make it happen. If I'm horny and I want to get in that pussy and you free, we make that happen. We don't date. And then I told her this, and this is very, very important. Her and I had made plans to see each other that night. What we was gonna fuck, right? So when we was over the phone, I told her, I said, if that's a problem for you, we can stop fucking right now. In fact, you ain't even got to come over tonight. The last time we fuck could be the last time that we fuck. We can end this shit right now. Most guys would never tell a woman that. They would never tell a woman that. Ever. Right? And the reason why I told her that, right? I wasn't trying to be mean and all of that, even though she took it that way. The reason why I told her that was because I wanted her to understand I'm quarterbacking this. I'm running the show. This is what we're doing. If you want to inquire or you want to be inquisitive as to why something else is in the situation isn't happening, fine, fuck it. I'll communicate that to you, right? But the way that she was doing it, the tone of voice she was using was a complaining tone of voice. And that's the wrong move. With me, that's the wrong move. If you come to me in a whiny, complaining tone, I'm gonna check you real quick. You know what I'm saying? Right away. Right? So when she did that, I had to check her, right? To make her understand that that's not what's gonna happen between us. We doing this. So what ended up happening when I told her, we ain't gotta fuck no more. In fact, you ain't even gotta come over tonight. What did she do? Hold on. Who the official? What did she do? She got her fucking mind right. And this is what she said to me. No. I'm still gonna come over. Damn, you're mean, Carrie. She called me mean, right? And I said, I know. See you tonight. And I hung up the phone. Now, here's the important part. Hold on, let me get back to the question. Let me get back to the question that you asked. Hold on, was it this question right here? No, that wasn't. Was it this question? Okay, no, that was this the question? Was this the question? Okay, yeah. So real quick. So prior, and I need you guys to understand, prior to her and I having this conversation, whenever she would see me, and I talked about this as well, whenever she would come over or I would come to her house, she was always super excited. Like when I would open the door, she would run and jump in my arms, and she was always very affectionate and super excited to see me when we would have sex, right? But after we had that conversation, and I basically told her, we fuck, I ain't taking you out, this is what we do. And she said, fuck it. And she said, she still wanted to, fuck and all of that. So this time, when she came to the crib, she didn't jump on me like she normally did. She wasn't all affectionate. She wasn't all smiles like she normally was. She was stone-faced. And she literally, when I opened the door, she walked right past me to the room. She never did that before. She always stopped and and all of that and wanted to, be hugged up with a nigga for about 5 seconds and tell me how happy she was to see me. She didn't do that this time. She walked right back to the bedroom and said, let's get this over with. That's what she said to me, bro. So when she said that, I pushed her on the bed on some aggressive shit, right? I pushed her ass on the bed. Get your ass on that bed. Right? Just like that. Get your ass on it. And I'm laughing, right? I'm laughing at her. Like, chick, do you really think I'm bothered? Okay. My bad. Hold on real quick. This is why I be laughing. All right, I'm zagging like a motherfucker, guys. So on that note, I got to get up out of here. So if somebody asked a question I didn't get to, my bad, but I'm zagging now. But real quick, when she came by and she did that shit and I dicked her down, the next time she came over, guess what she did? Jumped back in my arms and was hugging all on a nigga. And let me say this about her. Our fuck buddy relationship lasted 2 years after that conversation. When I checked her goofy ass, 2 years later, we were still fucking. And the only reason it ended was because I ended it. So guys, don't be afraid to express what you need to express to women, and don't be afraid to check them for unfavorable behavior, even if it means you lose access to fucking her. Real Game No Theory tomorrow, 11 o'clock Central, 12 Eastern. I'ma holler at y'all. Peace.